In the shadowy corners of the internet, there exists a marketplace that thrives on anonymity, a place where anything can be bought or sold. This is the story of its notorious kingpin. Nestled within the underbelly of the World Wide Web, a clandestine marketplace flourished, a bazaar of the bizarre, the forbidden, the illicit. This was no ordinary marketplace but the infamous Silk Road hidden deep within the labyrinth of the dark web. Here, anything and everything was up for grabs, from illicit substances to unregistered firearms, all cloaked in the anonymity provided by the dark web. At the helm of this digital black market was a figure shrouded in enigma, known only by his pseudonym, the Dread Pirate Roberts. But behind this swashbuckling moniker was Ross Ulbricht, a physics and materials engineering student with a grand vision. Ulbricht's Silk Road was a testament to the power of technology and the digital age. Utilizing the anonymizing capabilities of the Tor network, the marketplace became a haven for those seeking to operate under the radar. Transactions were conducted in Bitcoin, the anonymous cryptocurrency, further obfuscating the identities of those involved. Ulbricht's Silk Road was not just a marketplace, but a disruptive force. It was a platform that challenged the very fabric of traditional commerce and law enforcement, operating on principles derived from Austrian economics. Yet, beneath the veneer of libertarian ideals and technological innovation, the Silk Road harbored a darker side. Stories of orchestrated violent acts against individuals began to surface, painting a grim picture of the lengths Ulbricht was willing to go to protect his empire. As the Silk Road grew, so did its notoriety. To some, Dread Pirate Roberts was a hero, a champion of free trade and privacy. To others, he was a menace, a criminal mastermind exploiting the lawlessness of the dark web for personal gain. But who was the man behind this dark web empire? Enter Ross Ulbricht, a physics and materials engineering student with an audacious dream. From a university student to a dark web kingpin, Ross Ulbricht's journey was far from ordinary. Meet Ross Ulbricht, a Texas-born physics and materials engineering student with a promising future. He was the kind of guy who could have been your classmate, your neighbor, or even your friend. Yet beneath this ordinary veneer lay a man who would be known as the Dread Pirate Roberts, the mastermind behind the infamous Silk Road. Ulbricht's journey into the dark web began innocently enough. With a strong interest in economic theory and libertarian ideals, he sought to create a free market economy, unregulated and unhindered by government oversight. The internet, with its potential for anonymity, seemed like the perfect platform for his experiment. But this wasn't your usual tech startup. Ulbricht's vision was a marketplace where anything could be bought and sold, no questions asked. Drawing inspiration from the Austrian School of Economics and libertarian principles, his dream was to create a truly free market, where individuals could trade goods and services without government interference or oversight. And thus, Silk Road was born. Named after the ancient trade route that connected the East and West, the Silk Road was a digital marketplace like no other. It operated on the Tor network, an encrypted part of the internet that allows users to browse and communicate anonymously. Transactions were made in Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency that at the time was relatively unknown and untraceable. But the Silk Road was no eBay. It quickly became a hotbed for illicit trade, from drugs to fake passports. Yet, Ulbricht saw himself not as a criminal mastermind, but as a Bitcoin entrepreneur. He was, after all, merely providing a platform. It was the users who chose to use it for illegal activities. As the Dread Pirate Roberts, Ulbricht commanded the respect and admiration of many Silk Road users. To them, he wasn't just a pseudonymous figure behind a screen, he was a symbol of resistance against government regulation and control. Yet, for all his libertarian ideals, Ulbricht wasn't above using violence to protect his empire. Ulbricht's creation was gaining momentum, but with great power comes great scrutiny. And scrutiny was something Ulbricht would soon become all too familiar with. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's revel in the rise of Ross Ulbricht, a university student turned dark web kingpin, whose story serves as a chilling reminder of how a single idea can spiral out of control. As the Silk Road prospered, it also began to attract attention. Notice was taken by law enforcement. In the enormous universe of the dark web, the Silk Road shone like a beacon. It was a marketplace offering anonymity, a sanctuary for conducting business in the shadows. However, as its notoriety increased, so did the scrutiny it endured. The authorities had now set their sights on it, their gaze fixed on the elusive figure at its helm, the Dread Pirate Roberts, or as he is known to us, Ross Ulbricht. The FBI, DEA, and other federal agencies initiated investigations into the operations of the Silk Road. They dissected its transactions, its users, and its cryptocurrencies. They analyzed the digital fingerprints left by its dealings, assembling the pieces of a puzzle that pointed to one person: Ross Ulbricht. As the net closed in around him, Ulbricht's paranoia intensified. He was no longer liberated soul advocating for a libertarian paradise. He was a man under attack, a kingpin with a kingdom to defend. And in an ironic turn of events, the man who sought to establish a free market was now conducting violent acts to safeguard his rule. His actions were a stark contrast to his initial ideals. The man who once spoke passionately about freedom was now ordering assassinations of those who posed a threat to his kingdom. Ulbricht was spiraling out of control, losing sight of his original vision. His libertarian paradise was transforming into a dystopia of his own making. However, every action elicited a reaction. Every measure he took to protect his kingdom only brought more attention to it. The authorities were closing in, their net tightening around the Silk Road. And as they focused on Ulbricht, the man behind the Dread Pirate Roberts moniker, his kingdom started to crumble. Silk Road was no longer a beacon of anonymity, it had become a beacon for law enforcement. The marketplace that once flourished in the shadows was now under the harsh glare of scrutiny. The sanctuary that had once promised freedom was metamorphosing into a trap, one that Ulbricht had set himself. Ulbricht's kingdom was teetering on the little did he know, his downfall was impending. As the pressure piled up, the cracks in Ulbricht's kingdom started to appear. The once untouchable Dread Pirate Roberts was becoming susceptible, and his reign was living on borrowed time. But as the proverb goes, pride comes before a fall. And for Ross Ulbricht, the fall was just around the bend. October 1st, 2013, a day that would mark the end of Ulbricht's reign. As the sun rose over San Francisco, Ross Ulbricht, better known by his online alias Dread Pirate Roberts, would find himself in the firm grasp of the law. Little did he know, his reign as the kingpin of the infamous Silk Road was about to come to a crashing halt. Ulbricht was apprehended in the science fiction section of the Glen Park Library, his laptop open and logged into the Silk Road admin panel. From there, the wheels of justice began to churn. Ulbricht was slapped with a litany of charges including money laundering, computer hacking, conspiracy to traffic narcotics, and even procuring murder. As the trial commenced, the court was presented with a mountain of evidence against Ulbricht. Digital breadcrumbs left on his laptop, tax returns that didn't add up, journal entries detailing his operations, and even chat logs where he confessed to running the Silk Road. The prosecution painted a vivid picture of a man who, under the guise of libertarian ideals, ran a sprawling black market that dealt in everything from drugs to counterfeit passports. The defense, however, had a different narrative. They portrayed Ulbricht as a misunderstood Bitcoin entrepreneur, a pioneer in the world of cryptocurrency who merely wanted to create a free market, unfettered by the constraints of traditional government regulations. They argued that Ulbricht was not the Dread Pirate Roberts, but a fall guy set up by the real mastermind behind the Silk Road. But the prosecution was not swayed. They countered with evidence of Ulbricht's violent side, presenting chat logs where he allegedly ordered hits on individuals who threatened his operation. They argued that the Dread Pirate Roberts was not a hero fighting for economic freedom, but a dangerous criminal mastermind willing to resort to violence to protect his illicit empire. The court was left to weigh the two narratives. On one side, a misunderstood entrepreneur caught up in a vast conspiracy. On the other, a ruthless kingpin who used the dark web to build a criminal empire. The jury deliberated for just 3.5 hours before returning with their verdict. On February 4, 2015, Ross Ulbricht was found guilty on all counts. The judge handed down 2 life sentences plus 40 years without the possibility of parole. The verdict sent shockwaves through the dark web, signaling the end of an era. The Dread Pirate Roberts was no more, but the story of Ross Ulbricht was far from over. As he was led away in handcuffs, a new chapter was about to begin. The aftermath of Ulbricht's downfall, the legacy of the Silk Road, and the lessons learned from his story are yet to be explored. But for now, one thing was certain. The man once known as the Dread Pirate Roberts was facing a future behind bars, a stark reminder of the steep price of his ambition. Behind bars, Ross Ulbricht left a legacy that continues to reverberate through the dark corners of the web. His brainchild, the Silk Road, may have been dismantled, but its spirit lives on, inspiring a new generation of dark web marketplaces. In the wake of Ulbricht's arrest, the Silk Road was immediately shut down, its once bustling online corridors now silent. The FBI seized its servers, along with Bitcoin worth tens of millions of dollars. The closure marked the end of an era, but the ripple effects were already in motion. The Silk Road was more than just a black market. It was a symbol of defiance against government control, a beacon of libertarian ideals. In its absence, multiple successors have sprung up, each one more sophisticated and elusive than the last. Even so, none have quite matched the impact and reach of the original Silk Road. Ulbricht's legacy, however, is a double-edged sword. On one hand, he's seen as a champion of internet freedom, a man who dared to challenge the status quo. On the other hand, he's viewed as a criminal mastermind who exploited the anonymity of the dark web for personal gain. His trial and conviction sparked a heated debate about the boundaries of internet freedom and the ethical implications of his actions. Some argue that the Silk Road was merely a platform, and that Ulbricht shouldn't be held responsible for how others chose to use it. Others contend that by creating an unregulated marketplace, Ulbricht knowingly facilitated illegal activities. What cannot be disputed, however, is that Ulbricht's actions have had far-reaching implications for the dark web. His case set a precedent for how law enforcement agencies tackle online crime, leading to more sophisticated methods of tracking and apprehending dark web criminals. The Silk Road also brought Bitcoin into the limelight, demonstrating its potential for anonymous transactions. While this has undoubtedly fueled its misuse for illicit activities, it has also sparked interest in the underlying blockchain technology, leading to numerous innovations in the world of finance and beyond. Despite his current life sentence, Ulbricht remains a controversial figure. His story serves as a stark reminder of the potential and perils of the dark web, a world where freedom and lawlessness often walk hand in hand. Ulbricht's story is a cautionary tale, a testament to the allure and dangers of the dark web. His legacy, the Silk Road, stands as both a symbol of unchecked freedom and a chilling example of how easily that freedom can spiral into chaos. From a promising student to a notorious dark web kingpin, Ross Ulbricht's story offers several important lessons. Ulbricht's tale is a stark reminder of the dual nature of technological advancements. On one hand, the internet offers boundless opportunities for innovation and growth, as demonstrated by Ulbricht's creation of the Silk Road. Yet, on the other, it can serve as a breeding ground for illicit activities. The Silk Road, with its use of Tor and Bitcoin for anonymity and transactions, highlighted the potential and perils of cryptocurrency. The digital currency enabled the operation of a vast, anonymous marketplace, bringing to light the double-edged sword of financial anonymity. While it can protect individual privacy, it can also facilitate illegal activities. Ulbricht's story also underscores the importance of internet privacy and the role of authorities in monitoring online activities. The Silk Road's success was largely due to the anonymity it offered users. However, Ulbricht's eventual capture demonstrated that even the most secure online operations are not entirely beyond the reach of law enforcement. This raises critical questions about the balance between individual privacy rights and societal safety. Moreover, Ulbricht's journey from a physics and materials engineering student to the dread pirate Roberts is a sobering study in unchecked ambition. His initial goal to create a free market based on Austrian economics principles spiraled into orchestrating violent acts against individuals. This shows how even the noblest of intentions can lead one astray when not tempered by ethical considerations. Lastly, Ulbricht's defense in court, where he claimed to be a Bitcoin entrepreneur, brings to light the blurred lines between tech innovation and illicit activities. As technology continues to evolve, distinguishing between the two will become increasingly challenging. One man's dream turned into an empire, then a nightmare. The story of Ross Ulbricht serves as a stark reminder of the dark web's dangerous allure. In the end, Ross Ulbricht's story is more than just a tale of ambition gone awry. It's a cautionary tale that illuminates the darker corners of the internet and the high-stakes world of the dark web. It's a narrative that explores the blurred lines between innovation and crime, between freedom and anarchy. Ulbricht started as a bright student with libertarian ideals, but his path took a turn when he created the Silk Road, a black market haven operating under the cloak of the dark web. The allure of anonymity and the promise of a free market without rules or regulation proved irresistible to many. Yet this same freedom also paved the way for a host of illegal activities and ultimately led to Ulbricht's downfall. His story serves as a stark reminder that the internet, for all its potential for good, can also be a breeding ground for criminal activity. It's a reminder that the pursuit of freedom, when devoid of moral and ethical boundaries, can lead to dangerous consequences. It's an echo of the timeless truth that with great power comes great responsibility. As we delve into these complex narratives, we are reminded why it's more important than ever to stay informed, to question, to analyze, and to understand the world around us. Each story we uncover, each person we study, offers us insights into human nature, society, and the ever-evolving landscape of technology and the internet. And so, we invite you to join us on this journey of discovery. If you found this tale intriguing, if you're eager to dive deeper into the mysteries of the dark web, the complexities of human behavior, and the intersection of technology and society, then we encourage you to subscribe. We'll continue to unravel more stories, explore more characters, delve into more mysteries. Each tale will offer a fresh perspective, a new lesson, a deeper understanding of the world we live in. So stay tuned, stay vigilant, and remember, in the shadows of the internet, nothing is as it seems.